Okay, so let's get started, guys. I'm going to hike this up to maybe 200%. That's too big. 150 then. And let's begin. So we're going to talk about angles, specifically angles of triangles. And they're going to be the interior and exterior angles. So let's begin with that. All right, let's talk about interior angles to begin with. So I'm going to grab my text tool, pick a color, and we're going to write in the word interior. Interior. That looks a little small for this space. Let me change that to, I don't know, 18 maybe. 18's good. What's the next up from 18? 24. Ooh, 24. Actually, 24 looks good. I changed it to 24, font size 24. If you want to do that, that's fine. So interior angles are angles inside of a polygon. So if you see this triangle I'm showing you here, angles R, S, and T are interior angles. They're on the inside of this triangle. Okay. Exterior angles are angles formed by extending the side of a polygon, and they're on the outside. So the word exterior is going to go here on number 2. Exterior. So exterior angles are angles formed by extending the side of a polygon. So real quick, let me show you what that looks like. So if you see this triangle here, I have this triangle, I extend the line, make it go beyond the triangle, and this angle formed on the outside is an exterior angle. Okay, so that's what an exterior angle is. Any questions? Okay, so here's the thing about interior angles. Interior angles are supplementary to exterior angles. Supplementary, that means they add up to 180, correct. Supplementary means the angles add up to 180. So let me show you that here. So here I have an exterior and an interior angle. And if I add up these two angles, the inside angle and the outside angle, they add up to 180 degrees. They form a straight line, so they have to add up to 180. I'm just going to erase that. I don't need it. But I just wanted to show you what that they're talking about in this statement. Interior angles are supplementary to exterior angles. Okay? Now, let's move on to number 4. The sum of 3 angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So I'm wondering how many of you actually, did anyone know that already? If you add up the 3 angles inside of any triangle, it's 180 degrees. Did anyone know that already? Some people are saying I did not know that, or no. Now you know. That's a very important theorem. That's called the angle sum theorem of a triangle. A theorem is a rule that is a law or rule in math that can be proven. So basically, if the 3 angles inside of any triangle add up to 180, always and forever. Okay? Now, one of the things that happens is you can tell if the 3 angle measures of a triangle, the 3 angles add up to forming a triangle if they add up to 180. So it says you can tell if 3 angle measures could form a triangle. We're going to put the word triangle there by checking to see if the angles add up to 180 degrees. In fact, I'm going to use my markup tool, pick a color. This is going to be key. Add up to 180 degrees. Okay? Any questions on that? All right. So, the sum of the angle measures of triangles. This is one of the key ideas in geometry. If you take any three angles of a triangle and you add them up, they will add up to 180 degrees. It looks kind of too small for this space. I'm going to change the size. What's the biggest I can go? Ooh, that's big. That looks good there. There we go. 180 degrees. The sum of the three angles of a triangle always add up to 180. That's one of the main ideas, cornerstone ideas in math, especially for triangles. Okay? All right. So let's do this problem here real quick. It says find the missing angle of the triangle. Then classify the triangle by the angle measure and the length and the side length. Okay. So I'm going to go over here. That's way too big. Let me go with 24 probably. That's good. So I'm going to go text box 24 and let's see here. We want to find the angle measurement of x. We know one of the angles is 132, the other angle is 21. We don't know what this angle measurement for x is. How can we figure that out? How can we figure out what x is? Yeah. Someone is saying add them up. Why would I want to add them up? Why would I want to say x plus 132 plus 21? What does that give me? If I add them up, what do they equal? 180. All three angles together, including x, add up to 180. Yeah. All three of them have to add up to 180. Absolutely. So therefore, now I could just add up the 132 and 21, the actual with numbers. And that's, what is that? 153? Yeah. That equals 180. And then I use a little algebra. Now it's a very basic equation, right? Subtract 153 from both sides. So is that on red? Yeah. And my thickness, I'm using the drawing tool. And I'm going to show that I'm going to take away 153. From both sides. Cancel. And what is 180 minus 153? I'm a little off on my math today. Let's see. I canceled 153, so it's just x on the left side. But that has to equal 180 minus 153. That's 27. The 27, guys? Tell me. Does that third angle have to be 27? Okay. Thank you. Now, the other thing we have to do is classify the angle by angle measure. Since one of the angles is over 90 degrees, this is an obtuse triangle. So one of the ways we classify triangles is based on the angle measures. If all three angles are less than 90, it's an acute triangle. If one of the angles is exactly 90, it's a right triangle. And if one of the angles is greater than 90, it's an obtuse, and that's what this is. The other way to classify triangles is by the side lengths. If all three sides are equal, it's equilateral. If two of the sides are equal, it's scalene. No. It's oh, gosh. It's oh, the name is escaping me right now. How could I do this? Um, Not acute. It'll come to me. But this is a scalene triangle, which means none of the sides are equal. So since none of the sides are equal, it's scalene. Okay. All right. So let's move on to number 7. The measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measure of the two non-adjacent angles. So the word we want here is sum, meaning add up. So I'm going to use the markup tool, and I'm going to highlight two non-adjacent angles. Two non-adjacent angles. And what those are these two, R and S. Okay? So if you have a triangle and an exterior angle, that exterior angle is going to be adjacent to one of the inside angles. It's going to be right next to it. Remember, adjacent means next to. And the angles that it's not adjacent to, if you add them up, they equal the outside angle. So if I add R plus S, it has to equal T. R plus S equals T. That's the key here. And that's the exterior angles theorem. The sum of the non-adjacent angles is equal to the exterior angle. Okay? And so I'm going to go back to my text tool. And I want to put R here, nice and big. So I'm going to go back to the largest font size I have, which is 48. R plus S equals T. R plus S equals T. Okay? Any questions so far? All right. So here's another fact. The measure of an exterior angle and its interior angle are supplementary. So the measure of an exterior angle and its adjacent interior angle, the key word here is adjacent. Let me bring this back down to 24. The word here I want is adjacent. So the measure of an exterior angle and its adjacent interior angle are supplementary. We all know supplementary means adds up to 180. Okay. Okay. I just remembered. The word we wanted here was isosceles. If two sides of a triangle are equal, they're isosceles. All right. So let's go ahead and work on these two questions here. Excuse me, my throat's dry. And I'm all out of coffee. All right. So we want to find angle x. So I want to find this angle x. And to find this angle, I have to add up the two angles that aren't adjacent. So one is 35 degrees. Well, what's the measurement of this angle here? How many degrees is this angle going to be? Yeah, it's a right angle. So that means it's 90 degrees. It's 90 degrees. Okay. So in order to find this angle, x, we're going to do the following. We're going to say x equals 90 degrees plus 35 degrees. So that means x has to equal, well, if I add up 90 and 35, that's 125. So it has to equal 125 degrees. Okay? Any questions? Okay, so I want you to try that on number 2, the second one. What is the measurement of x in this one? We want to find x here. Tell me what x measurement is. All right. All right, and someone's already typed this in. X equals 85 plus 43. Correct. You would add those up. So x equals whatever the sum is for those. So what is that? If I add up 85 plus 43, how much is that? What's 85 plus 23? 43. Okay. 128. Yeah. It's 128. Okay. So those are the main ideas that we're going to do. Either we add up all three angles inside the triangle and they add up to 180 degrees, or we add up the two non-adjacent angles and they add up to the exterior angle, the angle that's on the outside. Okay? And so now we're going to use that. So here's the stuff you're going to be doing on IXL. So I have some examples on the next page. So let me know if you're ready to move on to that. Give me a thumbs up, a B or a D, if you're ready to move on to that. All right, let's do it then. So I think I will go up to 20% here. So here we go. It says the diagram shows a triangle. Okay, we see a triangle What is the value of B? What is the value of B? So what do I know? What do I know that's going to help me here? I know that if I add up all three angles, it's 180. So let me type that up. Sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So in particular, if I add up 8b plus 115 plus 33, that's 180. That. All I did was add up all three inside angles. It's 180. I have an equation. So now what I can do is I can combine the like terms. I can combine 115 and 33 on the left side of the equation. We're just solving an equation, basically. So I'm going to do that. 8b plus 148 equals 180. Okay? Any questions? Check my math, though. I might have made a mistake. Nope, I'm good. So now how do I solve this? I got a two-step equation. 8 times b plus 148 equals 180. And I want to figure this out. Okay? All right. So I want to subtract 148 from both sides. So I'm going to grab my drawing tool, make sure it's on red, and I'm going to put minus 148 on both sides of the equal sign. Show that you're doing whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Ooh, that's an ugly 8, but it'll do. So 148 and minus 148 will cancel. Okay? Let me go back to my text box. So now what I have is 8b equals 140, 180 minus 148, which is 32. So now what do? I want to figure out what b is still. I have 8 times b equals 32. Divide by 8. Yeah. Divide by 8. Okay. And I'll go back to my text box. And since I divided by 8 on both sides, I'm left with b by itself equals 32 divided by 8, which is 4. So b is equal to 4. Okay. Any questions? Now, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to highlight and copy this first sentence. The sum of the angles of a triangle is 180. I'm going to copy that because that's going to be how I'm going to start the other two problems that I'm going to do for this. Okay? So if you're ready to move on to the next question, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, a B or a D, if you're ready to move on to the next question. Okay. And they all have to do with the triangle sum. Okay. All right, so let's move on to this question. So again, the diagram shows a triangle, and this time we have expressions for each of the angles. A plus 35, 2a, and 2a. And we want to figure out what the value of a is. So the only thing we can do is add up the three angles, and it equals 180. So I'll start with that. The sum of the angles of a triangle is 180. So I'm going to add these up. I have a plus 35, and I add 2a, and I add another 2a, because I have another one there. And that has to equal 180. Okay? Any questions on what I just did? All I did was add up this angle, and that angle. And it has to equal 180. So I have an equation, a multi-step equation. Okay? I got to combine the like terms. And then I'm going to, what else am I going to do? Well, I got to combine the like terms. Why don't I start with that? I'm going to pick red, and over here, I'm just going to type in that I'm going to do that. Combine like terms. Combine like terms. Okay? And I'm going to go back to this text box and do that. So if I add up a plus 2a plus 2a, let me highlight them so you see what I'm talking about. I'm going to combine a plus 2a plus 2a. How much is that? What's a plus 2a plus 2a? I'll give you a hint, a reminder. This is 1, right? Whenever you have a variable without a coefficient, give it a coefficient of 1. So I have 1a plus 2a plus 2a. Yeah, that's 5a. Plus 35 equals 180. Okay. So now, what's my next step? I'll show my steps in red, basically. My next step is subtract 35. Okay, I'm going to do that. Let me show that step here, like so. Minus 3, 5. And I'll do that to both sides. -35 and -35 make 0, so they go away. And go back to my text box. I get 5a equals whatever 180 minus 35 is, which is 145. So my next step over here where I'm showing my steps is divide by 5. I'm going to divide by 5. Okay. So I'm going to do that. Grab my drawing tool, make a fraction bar, divide out 5 on both sides to cancel that 5 I'm multiplying with. Okay. Let's see what that gives me. I'll go back to this text box where I'm doing my equation, and I get a all by itself. Finally, the answer is whatever 145 divided by 5 is. How much is that, guys? What's 145 divided? Well, 5 goes into 100 20 times. 5 goes into 45 9 times, so it's 29. There's my answer, 29. I combine the like terms, subtracted by 35, and then divided by 5. And I got my answer. Any questions? Okay. So if you're ready, we'll move on to the next question. I'm going to copy this again, though. So give me a B or a D if you're ready to move on to the next step. Next problem, I should say. Oh, okay. All right, we'll give you a minute here, Citlali. Actually, let me change the size so we can see both of them. So here we got the same situation. Okay. They have to add up to 180. So that's going to be my first step. Want this in purple though. So I'm going to add up these three sides. I got 2v minus 11 plus 116 plus 31. That has to equal 180. Okay. So that's my first move there. And I still have to do the same thing I did before. I got to combine the like terms. I'm going to copy this from the previous one and then just paste it here. Combine like terms. Push this over a little bit, give myself a little room. I want to show this in a different color. I like the red. So I'll pick this, go to my color palette, pick red. So one will be in that blue, one will be in that red. So combine the like terms. Let's do the math. We're going to add negative 11, 116, and 131, or 31 rather. So I'm going to highlight those. I'm going to combine this, and this. Okay, so if you want, you can add 31 and 116 and then subtract 11 if you want. All right. So let's see, that would be 147 minus 11. So let's figure that out. So this is 2v, and it's going to be plus 136. I believe that's what I would get. 136. So all I did was I added the two positives. I got 147. Then I subtracted 11, so I got positive 136, so plus 136. Okay? Check my math on that and see if it's correct. What's my next move here? What do I want to do next? Subtract 136. I'm going to subtract 136, so I'm going to do that. Let me show that step with drawing. Take away 136. Okay. So get 2v equals whatever 180 minus 136 is. I believe that's 44. All right, guys. What do I do next? Tell me in the chat. How do I solve this finally? Divide by 2. So I'm going to show that step. Divide 2 and cancel the 2. So V equals 22. Okay. There's my answer. Any questions? All right. So there it is. Let's move on to the next one if you're ready. So we're going to go ahead and next we're going to deal with exterior angle problems. So you're going to have a second IXL dealing with exterior angles. Okay. So I took some questions at different levels of difficulty for that. Okay. So you ready? All right. So let's move on and do that. So use your knowledge of exterior angles to answer each problem. So it says, what is the measurement of angle 1? What is the measurement of angle 1? Angle 1, if you notice, is an exterior angle. Okay, it's an outside angle. And now, so how do I find that outside angle? So angle 1, I don't know the measurement, but I know that if I add these two other angles, this angle and this angle that are non-adjacent, give it 3 loops. If I add those two up, it has to equal the measurement of angle 1. So basically, I could say, go back here, the measurement of angle 1, all I did is put the less than sign, equals 32 plus 76. So that means the measurement of angle 1 has to equal, what is that going to be? 108. Check my math on that. Am I correct? Is it 108? Is that correct, guys? 32 plus 76. Is it 108 degrees? Hello, Earth to students. Okay, let me know you're out there. I'm going to put 108 there. Okay. All right, so that one wasn't too bad. You just add the two inside angles, they equal the outside angle. That's what we're going to use on this next part. Okay. However, we know the outside angle. The outside angle is 146. The angle we don't know is angle 1, and that's on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of angle 1 just to make it easier. I'm going to call this X. And the reason is I'm going to say x plus 92 equals 146. Okay? So I'm going to say x plus 92 has to equal 146. Okay? And now it's just a very simple equation. Subtract 92 from both sides. So take away 92. And bring this down. You get x equals whatever 146 minus 92 is. How much is that? What's 146 minus 92? Help me out. Meet me halfway here. 54. Thank you. All right, so x is 54, which is what angle 1 is. I guess I could go and do a measurement of angle 1 equals 54. I want to do that. Okay. All right. So again, we still use that concept. The two non-adjacent angles, add them up, and they have to equal the outside angle. Okay. Last question. Okay. So on this last question, what we're going to do is we have an outside angle, and we're going to add the two inside angles it's not adjacent to, and it has to equal the outside angle. So here we go again. We have this outside angle. There's the angle on the outside. It's this one here. If I add these two inside angles, it has to equal the outside angle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to say x minus 49 plus x minus 41 equals x plus 27. Okay. And looks like I have to do an equation with variables on both sides. I got variables on the left side of the equal sign and on the right side. So the first thing I have to do, though, is combine the like terms. I have some x's I can combine and some numbers I can combine, some constants. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Let me just write it down so in case anyone's wondering, what is he doing? What I'm doing is I'm going to combine like terms. Like terms. So I'm going to do that step now over here. So I'm going to combine, so you can tell, I'm going to combine my x's, x with x, and then I'm going to combine my numbers, negative 49 and negative 41. That's what I'm combining. So someone already said it's 2x, x plus x is 2x, And then negative 49 and negative 41 is negative 60. No, 90. Yeah. 49 plus 41 is 90. Equals x plus 27. Okay? So combine the like terms. Okay. So I got 2x minus 90 equals x plus 27. Now I got variables on both sides. I only want variables on one side and preferably on the left. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides to get rid of the x on the right-hand side. Subtract x from both sides. So let's do that. Okay, back over here. And I'm going to do that. Actually, I need my drawing tool for that. So minus x and minus x. And x and minus x cancel. And on the other side, 2x take away an x. Well, if you have 2x take away an x, what do I have left? I just have 1x, or just x. So I have x now, not 2x, minus 90 equals 27. Okay? I'm almost there. All I got to do now is get rid of this minus 90. And to do that, I have to explain my step here. Add 90 to both sides. Okay, so I have to add 90 to both sides. I'll give you a minute. I'm fixing up a couple things here. All right, so let me do that. I'm going to take my tool and do plus 90 on both sides. Plus 90 and plus. I don't like. Let me start over. Plus 90. Cancel this. And I finally get my answer, which I wanted, which is whatever 27 plus 90 is. And that's what, 117? So the answer here is 117. Ooh, that's going to be way too big to fit in there. I'll make it fit. Probably 16 would work, yeah. So there it is. My answer is 117 for x. All right. So if you followed along with everything I just did, go ahead and turn this in. We're done. Thank you.